Hey guys, welcome to Ask a PT. Let's go with the first question, Steve.
All right, first one we got is I have terrible sleeping posture and wake up sore/tight most days. How can I fix this? From @Lindsay Keel.
Okay, so waking up sore/tight with sleeping posture. So you started it off right in the beginning with I have terrible sleeping posture. We have to think about what that means. So if you're laying on your stomach, that's bad. There's nowhere for your neck to go at all. So we're going to end up having neck problems eventually. Some people make it to their 50s sleeping on their stomach, but most people don't. You also end up with low back pain because our back goes into extension while we're laying on our stomach. There's nowhere for your arms to go, so you end up putting them over your head. So if you're laying on your stomach, that becomes a problem. Now, the second leading cause of problems in sleeping position is mountain climbers. So somebody they got a little captain in them while they're laying on their side. But that knee coming up, that's mountain climber position. And so what it does is twists up the spine, and so it's putting pressure on those facet joints, and we end up with inflammation around those, and that causes a problem for the nerves, and then you start feeling stiff. So what we really want to do is if we're sleeping on our side, we want to put a pillow between our legs so that when we twist up to go more on our stomach, we won't move that far, and you really won't twist up your spine too much. So we can kind of limit that. And it's pretty comfortable. I sleep that way all the time. I've been doing it since I was 19 and I hurt my own back. So sleeping like that, or if you lay on your back and you're comfortable, then good. If you lay on your back and your back gets stiff, go ahead and throw a pillow underneath your knees. That's really easy.
Next question is also related to waking up. This says, my shoulders hurt and feel stiff when I wake up. What exercises can I do to help ease the pain? From @JohnnyDakota.
I think Johnny Dakota had a rotator cuff issue that he didn't listen to me about. So now we'll play catch up. And so if you're waking up stiff in your shoulders when you first thing in the morning, the first thing that we have to do is unravel in the morning, because when you're laying, typically I sleep on my side, so I'm kind of curled up, I'm rolled, I put an arm here, I put it underneath here, and then this one's kind of curled over. I might hug a pillow or my wife sometimes, but we got to unravel those shoulders. So really the best thing that you can do is just lay down flat on the ground, keep your knees bent so your back kind of flattens out, and then chin tuck, and so you're lengthening your spine, and do it for about a minute. I like to do external rotation with it, where I drive the shoulder blades down, do external rotation for about a minute, and that just gives my spine time to unravel, gets those shoulder blades in the right position, and gets my posture right, so I'm unraveled, and then my shoulders can move more freely.
Next question comes from @CaitlinJustice. Can stretching ever be bad for you? For example, hip arthritis. Can it make it worse?
It depends on the way that you're stretching. If hip arthritis, the problem with hip arthritis is it's the femur's just kind of driven into, it's kind of a garbage term. So there's a lot of reasons that the hip arthritis could be happening, but that femur's being driven into the acetabulum in the pelvis, and that's causing a grinding sensation and the bony growth to happen, and that's what happens in inflammation with your arthritis. So yes, you can have problems. If you are having a pinch, if you take your foot over, bring your knee up, and you're having a pinch, your hip flexor is actually driving that femur up into the joint, so that's going to cause you a problem. If you're doing a hip flexor stretch and you're going into extension with your back, that's counterproductive, because your psoas muscle is attached to all the lumbar vertebra. So if I'm doing this extension, even though I feel a stretch right here, it's actually not beneficial because it's pulling my spine forward, and so it's kind of compressing those the nerves in my back, which are going to affect your hip, because the muscles in your hip are affected by the sciatic nerve coming out of your back. So that's the longest answer ever to that question. Yes, you can have problems. The biggest thing is it causing you pain? We need to keep our spine in a neutral position while we stretch as best we can. And then if you're having any pinching in the hip or anything, then that's not a stretch we want to do. We want to find a more neutral position. And you got to make sure that you're working on your posterior chain, get your glutes strong, and it should take away a lot of that stuff.
Okay, and very last one, don't know if we'll have time for it, but it says, I've had pain in my right knee off and on for a couple months now. Have lost flexibility in the right leg as well, possibly IT band?
That's a new question, and I talked to TK yesterday. I'm going to talk to him on Friday, so we can answer that next week. I need a little bit more information.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks. That's another episode of Ask a PT. Check us out Wednesdays on YouTube, Instagram, and anywhere else that has streaming device.
All right.